We are all born different, but some people are born very different. Their thirst for blood is simply unquenchable. Here are the top 5 most insane serial killers of all time. Make sure to like and subscribe to this channel if you want to get more videos like this. Don't forget to leave a comment to let us know your thoughts on this video. Let us move on to number 5. Kamagu Babusa. Born as Daniel Kamagu Babusa, was known to have been abused by his stepmother at a very young age. He was sometimes dressed in girls' clothing, making him an object of ridicule to his peers. After his first marriage failed, he planned to marry another woman he had fallen in love with. Kamagu loved virgins, but unfortunately, this one was not. She, however, agreed to help him get other virgins to have sex with. After 5 rapes, Kamagu was arrested and jailed, 8 years imprisonment. Kamagu was deported immediately after his release. Shortly after his release, Kamagu raped and murdered a 9-year-old and was rearrested and sentenced to 25 years in prison. A few years later, he managed to escape prison and took a bus to Gunyal in Ecuador. Whilst in Ecuador, he committed a series of at least 54 rapes and murders. He was rearrested after the remains of a girl he had murdered was found on him. He confessed to killing 72 girls in Ecuador. He was convicted to the maximum sentence available in Ecuador, which was 16 years. Lucky him, he was stabbed to death by a nephew of one of his victims. Moving on to number 4, Mikhail Popkov. Known as the werewolf, Popkov worked as a police officer. He was highly dedicated to his job until he found out his wife was cheating. His victims were all women except for one male police officer. He believed every woman he killed was adulterous, just like his wife. He murdered with instruments including screwdrivers, knives, axes, baseball bats, etc. However, investigators discovered tracks from a Lada 4X4 vehicle used by the department Popkov worked. These tracks were on numerous crime scenes. After a series of DNA tests, Popkov was arrested. He was convicted of 22 murders in 2015 and 59 additional killings in 2018. He was sentenced to life imprisonment. Moving on to number 3, Pedro Alonso Lopez. Born as Pedro, Lopez was known as the monster of the Andes. Lopez's crimes first received international attention from an interview conducted by Ron Leitner, a freelance journalist. According to Leitner's story, Lopez became known as the monster of the Andes after he led the police to 53 graves in Ecuador. His victims were all girls around 9 to 12 years of age. He was later found guilty of the murder of 110 girls in Ecuador. He was put in a psychiatric facility and was later released for good behavior after initially being found insane. As of 2019, his whereabouts is still a mystery. He is wanted for a fresh murder in 2002. Number 2, born as Luis Alfredo Garavito Cubelos, was known as the Beast. This man was a terror in the land. He has been described by local media as the world's most dangerous serial killer. Garavito targeted boys between the ages of 6 to 16 who were either homeless, peasants or orphans, as it's obvious that this guy is very cold. He frequently changed his disguise to avoid raising suspicion. He tortured, raped and sometimes decapitated his victims. The testicles of his victims were severed and put in their mouths. The large number of missing children called for an investigation in the community. In February of 1998, bodies of 2 naked children were found close to each other. These bodies were found on a hill. The next day, another child's naked body was discovered only meters away. Unfortunately for Garavito, he had dropped a note containing his girlfriend's address. Upon contact, his girlfriend gave the police a bag containing a number of Garavito's belongings. These items included pictures of young boys and detailed journals of his murders. Garavito was arrested on April 22nd in 1999 on a separate charges of attempted rape. The judicial body ruled that all Garavito's sentences totaled 1,853 years in jail. How long can a man live? I wish him all the luck. Now, the ultimate, number 1. Born as Harold Frederick Shipman, was a doctor in England. He studied medicine at Leeds School of Medicine in 1970. He was an athlete and excelled in everything he did. As a matter of fact, this man was the strongest athlete in his team. In his first year as a general practitioner, he was caught forging a prescription of pethidine for his own use. He was fined £600. In 1998, Linda Reynolds, a colleague of Harold Shipman, was prompted by 2 individuals from a well-known funeral parlor in the community of the high death rate among the patients of Mr. Shipman. The matter was brought to the attention of the police, but enough evidence couldn't be gathered to press charges. After a month or 2, Mr. Harold killed 3 more people. His last victim was Kathleen Grandy, who was found dead at her home. Shipman was the last person to see her alive. Initially, the police did not want Shipman to know that the investigations were ongoing, so they kept it undercover. But with this murder, there was something very fishy. He stated old age as cause of death when he signed her death certificate. Brandy's daughter became concerned when the solicitor told her the will the mother had made excluded her, but rather gave a total sum of £386,000 to Mr. Harold Shipman. Woodrow, who is the daughter of Kathleen Grandy, reported it and Grandy's body was exhumed. They found traces of diamorphine, which is heroin, in Miss Kathleen Grandy. Harold Shipman was arrested 2 months later. It was discovered that he had a typewriter which was used to forge the will. After inquiry, it was certified by Shipman himself that he had killed 250 victims. That makes him a top of my list. He hanged himself in his cell at Wakefield Prison. Up to today, the story of Dr. Death is still spoken across the community.